Let's hear it for Funk and Circumstance. All right. So I just need to do a little mic check here. Perfect. I need to do a little mic check here. So first question, can you guys over here hear me? Oh, that's embarrassing. Hey, can you guys over here hear me? There you go. Let me try that again. Can you guys over here hear me? Okay. How about you in the way back? I think they're winning. How about over here? There's a guy over there who just looks like, I'm not going to do this. So it's all good, though. And how about you, graduates? That's what I'm talking about. Now, I need the graduates, though. You guys sound good, but you need to really give a shout out to all these people who came to see you. We got people all the way from India. They've, all parts of the world to see you, to celebrate you in this moment. So let's celebrate them with a little cheer, shall we? All right. Now we're cooking with grease. So my name is Van Graves. I'm the executive director of the VCU Brandcenter, and I'm glad to have you here. And it's an honor to welcome you to this celebration. It's a celebration of creativity, perseverance, and brilliance that we call the Class of 2025. Advertising people know how to throw a party, and well, today we're going to prove that theory right with your help. Because it's correct. This isn't just a ceremony. This is a launch party for these people who are about to change our industry and change our world, and we're glad to have them. But to our graduates, look at you. Just look at you. Only 60 weeks ago, you came here as mere mortals. I'm so proud of you. Today, you're walking out to our industry as forces to be reckoned with, at a time where the world needs your creativity, creative problem solving, strategic thinking, and fresh perspectives more than ever. We need you. To the families, I want you to know something. These graduates didn't just complete some master's program, arts and crazy stuff. These students survived the most intensive boot camp for creative readiness in advertising, marketing, and design. They pulled all-nighters. They presented work only to be told to start over. They laughed because you know it's true. They consumed way too much coffee. They learned that feedback sometimes felt like getting hit by a truck, and they knew they had to get up to make their work better. So when I say you've earned this moment, you have earned this moment. Enjoy it. Feel it. These are people who love you, and we're here to celebrate you and your accomplishment. Now, I also have the privilege to introduce some very special people. These guys here. It's our Brandcenter faculty. You aren't just professors. You're mentors, cheerleaders, critics, therapists, and sometimes, occasionally, drill sergeants. You push these students to creative solutions they never thought possible. So please stand as I call your names so we can properly acknowledge your impact. We're starting with Jessica Collins. Okay, family and friends, this might be longer than we thought. All right. Holly Hessler. Erwin Hahn. Andrew Levasseur. Kevin Rothermel. Katie Schaefer. And Tom Scharf. All right, guys, I'm gonna look over this bias you guys have been in. All right, y'all need to do a little better than that. All right. But I also would like to acknowledge a few others who really make the magic happen at the Brand Center, the glue that binds all the things that we do every day. So I'm just going to say their names and thank them for their commitment. Amy, Dean, Greg, Jonathan, Marielle, Sarah, and there she is right at the back there. Hi, Sarah. How are you? And KJ. Thank you for your hard work. But I'd also like to acknowledge our new Dean of the School of Business, Dr. Brian Brown. Our visiting members from our Directors Council who came into town just to celebrate you. And I have to say, the people who put up with me the most, my unflappable senior staff. So thank you all. Now I'm thrilled to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, the incomparable T.C. Cannon. She serves as the executive producer for SiriusXM's Michael Smerconish show. She also is an anchor for CNN, producer. I stand corrected. Thank you very much. She has an amazing voice, by the way. You will hear it in a second. She has her own podcast called TC After Dark, one that I listen to myself, but every once in a while she will read children's stories, which my 7-year-old absolutely loves. TC's career path has been nothing but non-conventional. I think my English is off on that, but nothing but unconventional. After graduating from Harvard as a pre-med, focus on bio, she decided she wanted to be a Montessori teacher, then moved on to being a guest host at QVC. So she's done a lot of stuff, but the best part about it is she's mad cool, a good person, is excited about being here for you. Now, we're about to set this party off, and so I turn over the mic to you, T.C. Cannon.
Well, thank you, Van. I can only hope that everybody at the other end of the radio dial or podcast line is as fabulous and accomplished as you are, so thank you very much. And congratulations to you, the class of 2025, and to all of you who have supported them along the way. I am thrilled to be here. Now, that was an introduction, but probably you're asking, what exactly do I do? Well, I spend my working days in a purple cube. That's not exactly true. Two sides do have windows, but the walls and the ceilings and the windowsills are most definitely purple. Not the red of Republican or the blue of a Democrat, but the purple of independence. Are you feeling the brand? As Van just said, I'm the executive producer and on-air foil for Michael Smerconish, and I have been for 23 years. Our theme song for the radio show is Steelers Wheel, Stuck in the Middle with You. Are you feeling it? The brand, you're getting it in the middle? Right. But hang on, rewind. As you just heard, that was not what I thought my life would be like. Maybe it's not what you think your life is going to be like now. So take a listen to this. I didn't go to school for radio or communications or political punditry or production or podcasting. So how did a woman who was raised by two doctors on a very clear pre-med track, biology major, end up with a career in talk radio, television, and podcasting? Well, it turns out I didn't love science. And it turns out I didn't figure that out until my senior year in college. So I got married young, I had my daughter young, and I was going to school with her. I was assistant teaching at a Gladwin Montessori school in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I started a stationery and invitations company. Guys, that's when there was real paper and you sent it in the real mail. I don't know if you've heard of this kind of thing. And yes, I auditioned to be an on-air guest on QVC and spent 8 years selling a quite fabulous line of flameless candles, real wax candle with a light vanilla scent. I loved that part of my job. Being on TV for 9 hours at midnight, selling millions of dollars worth of candles, it was fabulous. I was hustling, and I wanted more. I met my host, Michael Smerconish, because his kids were at the Montessori school. So the first Smerconish I met was about yay high. And Michael was on Morning Drive Radio at the time and was always interested in my QVC stories. He was just always interested in a good story. He, like me, had not started his career in radio. He's a lawyer who was active in politics. And when he was young, was invited on radio and TV on big nights like election nights, whatever big political nights there were, and he caught the media bug. Eventually, he got hired and started a career in talk radio. One day, his radio producer got frustrated with him, can't imagine why, and walked out. And Michael, who knew that I also had got bit by the media bug, called me and said, "Come in and see what it's all about." So I went in the next morning at 7 a.m., and I never left. And the radio station eventually had to hire me. They didn't want to. The program director, a total force of nature named Grace Blazer, threw my resume across the lunch table and said, "What the F on this piece of paper makes you think I should hire you for the job?" But she said the real word. So she had a point. The radio producer who had left had 20 years radio experience, and I had none. But Michael wouldn't interview anyone else, and so CBS Radio eventually had to take a chance on me, a rather unconventional way to get a job. Show up and don't leave. I showed up 23 years ago to a producer job that started at WPHT 1210 AM in Philadelphia. Then the show was syndicated on AM and FM radios nationwide. Over time, my role grew from the occasional side comment to a daily sidekick. He and I developed a really good chemistry and a strong following. Then about 12 years ago, we moved to Sirius XM, and soon after, Michael started his show on CNN, which is where I'm the anchor producer. I have a hand in that show as well. And yes, I have my own podcast, because who doesn't these days, called TC After Dark. It's what I'm still thinking about when the radio light goes off on my real job. And it's all about workouts and food and travel, and I interview cultural people and poets and chefs, and I do have the mini-series of reading out loud children's books. Shout out to Chloe Graves, who is the best. Show up and don't leave. Actually, that's my advice for all of you today, all of you Brandcenter graduates. Even if you don't find yourself offered a job for which you have very few official qualifications, that's not going to happen to you because you're all very well qualified. But no matter what the circumstances, no matter what it means in your life, big or small, show up and don't leave. Thank you, and congratulations. Now please welcome Professor Holly Hessler.
Congratulations to the class of 2025. It is really, really amazing and just wonderful to see you all sitting here, and also to see your friends and your family here with you to support you. I am here to call up your student speaker. The student speaker is selected every year by the students to come up and represent the graduating class. And I have to say, I do not always agree with the choice, because not every year is the student chosen someone who is incredibly talented, incredibly driven to succeed, and just an all-round amazing human. But this year, y'all nailed it when you chose Henry Coffey. So Henry, please come up.
Thank you, Holly. Hello to my dear classmates, to the faculty and staff of Brandcenter, and to all the friends and family here today. Thank you all for being here, especially those of you who have come a very long way. And thank you to my family for flying here from Idaho, and thank you to Tess for moving all the way to Richmond with me. It's an honor to speak to you today, and it's almost impossible to sum up 2 amazing years in these brief remarks. It's a cliche to say that this moment is not an ending, but a beginning. It's also misleading. And I am here today to provide a much-needed reality check. This is an ending, and we've probably already peaked. It's sad to say. In fact, there are some clear signs that it's all downhill from here, and I'm going to list them. It's probably all downhill from here because we will never sit in class together again. It's all downhill from here because we're done cheering for each other in the big lecture hall. It's all downhill from here because we can no longer take classes from these remarkable professors whose guidance and generosity and kindness make the whole Brandcenter experience. It's the whole thing this school is. It's all downhill from here because we won't get to spend time with the staff at Brandcenter, and their constant dedication is the reason that this really is the best business and advertising program in the world. It's all downhill from here because nothing feels quite like sliding into that booth at Stanley's after a night class. It's all downhill from here because we will probably never rent houses this close to each other again. That's a really sad one when you think about it. It's all downhill from here because this is your third major graduation, which is also cool. But if you ever have a fourth graduation, it is unlikely that you or anyone you know will care. That is way too much school. And finally, it's all downhill from here because when I started this school, every alum I talked to told me the same thing. I'm so jealous that you're just starting. And I know we already feel that pang of jealousy when we talk to the students who are starting this fall. Okay, so it's possible that we have peaked. But despite that, I know that the class of 2025 will be wildly successful. And to all the family members here who maybe still don't understand what we've been doing for the past 2 years, I want to promise that your confusion will be cleared up and your patience will be rewarded when you see what this class goes on to accomplish. Because class of 2025, I wouldn't lie to you, I'm being serious when I say you're the smartest, most talented, most driven people I've ever met. You are a group of creative and strategic monsters, and I mean that in the best way. I will always be grateful that I showed up here at the same time as you all in particular. I knew you were different since the very first week of school. We got put into groups for an icebreaker activity, just your name game style icebreaker activity. Our task was to redesign the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I thought we would all blow it off because it's an icebreaker. But you guys redesigned the peanut butter and jelly sandwich like it was a NASA-funded experiment. And then you presented your redesigned sandwiches so beautifully. And I thought to myself, am I getting a little bit emotional? You guys are very beautiful and persuasive speakers. I realized at that moment that you all bring this absurd, unnecessary level of passion to every single thing you do. It's unbelievable to witness for 2 straight years. It doesn't matter if you're starting a small business, which you have, or writing a comedy skit, which you've written many, you lose sleep over it. You pull every possible lever to make it unforgettable. And of course, that's why you're always producing amazing work. And that's why you're winning international awards and taking jobs at the best agencies and companies in the world. Truly the best agencies and companies in the world. But there's a more important consequence to that level of passion. It makes you the very best people to hang out with. And that, in truth, is all I've really cared about. I spent a lot of time before this in a lot of cities trying to find a group of people like you. A group of people that doesn't react to the world, but proactively fills the world with new ideas and art and slightly genius dumb things. A group of people so interesting and funny that I'm actually sad about every time that you talk to each other without me there, because I know it would have been fun. You made this such a good 2 years that I am now worried that it will never get better. Because class of 2025, we really might have peaked. But maybe that's a good thing. Peaking in grad school, way better than peaking in high school. And there's no better sign of time well spent than having something to reminisce about. It is the only way to keep score on life. And we have people to reminisce with. Because I think we all know that in 20 years, we will still be hanging out. And we will complain about each other to our families. We will say, I am so tired of them. They've been acting like this for 20 years, and they have never ever grown up. That is how we'll know we've really made it. And if there are any of you that I don't hang out with after today, I trust that we will exchange texts periodically until I die, because we have built something special here. And after all those late nights and those scary presentations and the rejected work and the accepted work, and the VST projects, and the Geneva comments, and the mixers, and the slide decks, and the insights. We are united by something more than just solving business problems for creativity. We know that we have spent a little slice of the good old days together. So cheers to the class of 2025, cheers to everyone who helped us get here. See you tomorrow and most days after that. Thank you.
Class of 2025, your graduation speaker today, I've gone deep, and I've tried to think of one word to describe him. This is what I come up with. He is singular. He is thoughtful and compelling, and to you graduates, Shingy perhaps needs no introduction beyond perhaps digital prophet or buzzword king. I'm gonna read from his biography because I truly love every word. It's one of these read the words out loud situation. Shingy, David Shing, is a creative omnivore and visionary futurist. Pioneering the frontier of human technological engagement with his philosophy, from imagination to implementation of ideas, iconography, instinct. This globally acclaimed thought leader has transformed icons like LVMH, Chanel, and Nike with his strategic forecasts. Shingy's boundless creativity and design mastery establish him as a preeminent authority in crafting iconic identities. His razor-sharp instinct, visual artistry, and verbal eloquence make him an indispensable advisor, orchestrating transformative think tanks for global leaders and nurturing cultural trailblazers. Championing mindful technological engagement, Shingy's visionary leadership shapes a more enlightened digital future, turning bold ideas into tangible realities that redefine our world. Now please welcome the one and only, the singular, Shingy.
Right, enough of that rubbish, no clapping. Two things. Firstly, very intimidating. I didn't know you were going to read out a bio that I wrote, so thanks for that, bloody hell. Secondly, I thought I'd just do a bit, but then on the way here I realised I shouldn't. Because you deserve better than that. And I was on a production call this afternoon about, I'm shooting an ad, and they're still harassing me now, so if I take my throne through this call, it's not you, it's me. But I just want to ask, hands up, who's the copywriting in here? You did copywriting? Beautiful. Art direction? Yeah, I'm with you. Experience design? Amen. Strategy? And a hell yeah, apparently. Sorry, amen. Brand management? Producers? All in one line. Love that. Okay, look, I put together some formal words. Are you okay if I do that? I've never worn one of these. It feels kind of cool. But it's a polyester, so it's really hot. But not in a hot way. You with me? All right, let's just get on with it. You beautiful, brilliant, creative souls. You made it. And what's amazing about this is you survived the briefs, the all-nighters, the critiques from this lot. The criticals. You did the pivots. You took strange instincts, big ideas, turned them into magic. And if it wasn't magic, like somebody there with a baby on his chest, that is magic, mate. And if you need to get up and change that diaper, total respect. You've built portfolio, but more importantly, you built yourself. I see that from your glassy eyes. It's delicious. And with that, to the parents, yay, I think. The parents, the friends, the chosen family in this room, thank you for raising these thinkers. Thank you for taking a risk. Thanks for paying for their tuition. We good? Also, thank you for maybe even just paying for their Wi-Fi, who knows. But what's amazing to me, you've developed dreamers and rebels, and you get what it says on the tin. To the faculty, these beautiful people who've been in this industry for longer than most. You know, it's not just a school, but a launch pad as Van said. And Van, who's a brother, we met in Cannes Lion, we did some work together. He said to me, come and speak to my group. And I'm like, you're joking, aren't you? I mean, what the hell am I going to be doing speaking to this crew? What does he want with a rebel like me? And I realized, formal graduation, what do I do? I just realized that I'm talking to a group of rebels. And we need you to be rebels. Why? Look, let me tell you some stories. Hopefully, these stories you'll find intriguing in the time that we're together. But they have a clue along the way, and it's all about initiations. So I didn't come from around here. I don't know what the Richmond accent is, but it's not this bloody thing. I grew up in the bush of Australia, literally, one of 10 kids. My parents ran a Chinese restaurant in a very small country town. We didn't have much money, but we had a surplus of food, of noise and work ethic. And then, when I was 11, my life had a turn. I got hit by a car. I got dragged for 2 blocks. I spent 6 months in hospital, lost the bottom of my face. And my parents said, look, that kind of trauma, let this kid do whatever he wants to do. They gave me a different perspective. They just said, just do what makes you happy. And that was an incredible opportunity. I could have chosen wisely and gone down the path of being a total rebel and doing the cliche of what rebels really do. But I got serious. It's very different than where I am today. I sold Levi's. I was a radio DJ. I studied the art of photography. I implore you to go study the art of photography. I made fashion. I trained as a butler. I worked in a restaurant. I did shifts. I chased creative dreams with no clear path. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, man. It was kind of this survival of the fittest. There was no plan, just permission to be curious, and that was my compass. Okay. When the tools change, the soul stays the same. What does that mean from the Buzzword King? It's simply this. I'm part of the last generation of analog graphic designers. Anyone here as well? Yeah. They're my bromide crew. The last school of classically trained designers. Bleed-proof paper, squeaky markers, paste-up boards, bromides and typesetters. Half those industries don't exist anymore. But they were the toolbox. I had a literal toolbox as my craft, not a computer. It was an amazing time. Then along came DTP. Do you guys know what that is? What that acronym is? You can Google that shit later. Desktop publishing, man. It was the AI of my industry. Suddenly, everybody had 256 fonts, had 16.7 million colors. Everybody had software. The industry took a dive. Sound familiar? Yeah, it happened to me 20 years ago, so muscle up. Just kidding. People literally said to me on the day I graduated, like, Shingy, design is dead, dude. I'm like, what? What have I been doing? Are you joking? The tools change, but the soul never changes. It stays the same. What does it matter? What does that mean, dude? It means taste, point of view, emotional intelligence, empathy, and style, which clearly you guys roll deep on. Except for today, I don't know what the hell goes under those gowns, but the same cap. What is happening? It's weird. But look, that's what it's all about. It's about to happen again. AI is your desktop publishing moment. You have a choice. You can be scared of it. You can take a dive. You can let it take you. But really, it's your moment. Bigger, faster, louder. That's how I would drive those tools. Here's why. Everyone has access to the same tools, but not everyone will know how to do them. That is your skill. It is easy to adopt these tools. It's very difficult to stay creative, but you will. Because you're not just users, you're storytellers, sense makers, culture shapers. Tech can accelerate, but only you can humanize. Only you can humanize. What do I mean by that? I had an idea that sparked curiosity when I was a kid. Such a big idea that I needed to move away from Australia. This was my second initiation. My first was a car accident. The second was moving away from the familiar. And I moved from Australia, but I didn't want to. I was super scared of. And I was scared of what? Well, I was going to be missing that familiar. That was what I wanted. I wanted to stay. And I thought to myself, late night, one time when I thought, am I really going to do this? What's the worst that could happen? I come home. So it gave me much relief. But there it was. I co-founded a startup in my early 20s. Henry, he's talked about you guys running businesses. That's brilliant. The ability to actually have businesses is rock and roll at your age. I had to go out and pretend I knew what the hell I was doing. You get to do that now. And what's incredible to me is I had a vision. We have patents. We moved to America, just 5 Australians that didn't know what we did. And we failed spectacularly. I raised a ton of money from some fancy people. We built some internet technology, got a bunch of patents, and it all went down the toilet overnight. I lost the company, I lost my visa. I really was an alien. That was my status in the US. It's pretty cool. I lost my relationship, I lost my identity. And that was the initiation. That's what initiations look like, my friends. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. What you're experiencing today is this euphoric moment. I'm going to tell you that initiations do not ask for permission. They just ask, and they just show up. Who are you without a title? Who are you without the wins? That was me, not much older than you. And you either step into that darkness or you run for it. I stepped into it, but slowly. I like to run fast, but not onto that bloody brick wall. So gingerly is one of those things that I decided to do. But I can tell you that the road isn't a straight line because I've been on a road before. There was a car on it, so I'm a little bit scared of that too, so be careful of that. But let's be real, man. This industry that you are embarking on is both beautiful, obviously, and brutal. And here's why. You'll get ghosted. You'll get rejected. You'll get hired for the wrong reason, and you're going to get fired for the right reasons. And look, that's not failure, man. That is the curriculum. So I wasn't the best student. I wasn't one of these fancy pantsers sitting in the first 2 or 3 rows. You probably do that in class all the time, don't you? Is it? It's not by alphabetical, is it? Oh. Pick the dude that never went to school, dude. But I'm like these cats in the back, man. I just would roll up late. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, making sure my pencils were sharpened. That was it for me for school, but I can tell you that now because you're out. You're not the incoming class, thank God. All right, that would be different. But look, I wasn't the best student. I paid attention to not what was being said. I was paying attention to the gaps. I trusted my gut. I chased discomfort, including a one-way ticket out of Australia. And look, the spoiler is, it led me somewhere, and it led me somewhere good. Because your first job may not be your dream job. Except for those of you who got picked up by mischief, they're pretty cool, dude. Yeah, amen. Don't clap that. Because plenty of cool other agencies out there too, believe me, no, just kidding. But look, your first job may not be your dream, your third may not be either. And your title, it's not your talent. Your job's not your identity. What matters is momentum. Momentum, keep it forward, keep it going, keep those sparks flying. A few years after everything crashed for me, my failed startup moment, I lost my company, my visa, my relationship, as I said. I had to reset. I was lost. And I took a job that wasn't really a reflection of me. I mean, it just wasn't what I wanted. It didn't match my values. It didn't light me up. And it might happen to you. And that's okay. Someone's going to tell you to go get a job. And that's okay if you actually just gain some experience. But I'll tell you what I did do. It'll help you reset your compass. It won't tell you where to go, but it'll help you find you back to yourself. And that's important. Because I worked my arse off at this startup that failed. I lost everything, including my identity, and I lost my way. So resets are important in your life. Whatever they are, however small, however big they are, it's big for you. And here's the part I didn't expect. That space, that failure, that time, that uncertainty of pause, that disconnection for me, it gave me room for something else. It gave me space to fall in love. In the middle of all of that confusion, I actually met the love of my life. And I'm still married 20 years later. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can woo that. I'm here for that. So I became a father, something thought I'd never do. I'm Peter Pan. If you get to know me, there's no way I wanted any of that. My man, I'm here for you, but now I have an incredible 8-year-old daughter. Her name's Ocean. She rocks my world. A spectacular human being. And, you know, it's a reflection of everything I didn't know that I had to give. And she teaches me every day, as you have taught this lot every single day as well, even in your adult years. When she was just 3 years old, she said to me when I was trying to school her, because apparently I know more because I'm the parent, aren't I? And she said to me, "Papa, you don't know what I don't know." And I just thought, whoa. I'm done. And I'm in a lot of trouble, dude. I carry that quote with me every day because I know that she's right. So there's this idea, adults, that we're supposed to have the answers. But the older I get, the more I realize we're kids. We're just taller kids pretending we've got it figured out. So to you parents, to you lot, in any capacity, of friends, as family, as parents, when your kid pushes back, when they make wild choices you don't understand, they may be showing you truth that you've forgotten, or risks that you didn't take. So celebrate those. To the students, do not grow out of your childlike wonder. Because life's serious, but you don't have to take it seriously. Take your job seriously, just don't take yourself seriously. It can be important to have that childlike wonder, the curiosity, not to be cynical. Stay open, don't be over it. And stay wild. And what I mean by that is also staying weird. Because for the love of creativity, stay a little foolish. Because there is something about this time that feels like it's very serious. I want to talk about your friends, you lot that are spending all this time together, your network. It's more than a cliche. I've heard the word cliche once already. Let's underscore that, highlight it, bold italics. Helvetica new, why not? Yeah, hey, built in 1972, incredible. But here's what's up. A few years after my crash, my first employee in New York had left that startup as things were getting brittle to start a family. He called me and said, "Shing, I'm going to offer you a job. I want you to move to the UK. I hear you're coming back. I want you to help build 11 countries for me." I was working for AOL. And I said to him, okay, there are two things that don't commute for me, dude, too. One is AOL, dude. Secondly, he said, "You used to work for me. So now I work for you?" And we're incredible friends. And the roles reversed, life flipped, and I learned something really essential, which is relationships outlast resumes. Relationships outlast resumes. You probably don't even know what a resume is. Screw resumes, by the way. Anyway, here's what's truth. A lot of you are going to sit here as you embark on this newfound experience and say, "I don't have the trust fall of being a student. I'm now a professional in this world of chaos. I need to find some mentors, some life partners, some people that I can bounce with that you had every single day." Well, if you go and embark on asking people to be your mentor, the one thing I ask you to do is be an incredible mentee. Because we're looking to learn from you as much as you're wanting to learn from us. It is a totally different type of relationship, and it's way less formal than it ever used to be. So be curious, do the work, ask better questions. The best mentors aren't here to impress you. They're here for you to impress them, and vice versa. It works in a beautiful relationship. They want to learn from you with fresh ideas and wild takes. That's what we're trying to do. We are in the constant world of lifelong learning. But mentorship, as I said, is not this hierarchy, it's a feedback loop. So get used to it, because so is work, so is life. Feedback loop. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Please stay generous. Look around at your beautiful friends. You might start a company with the person next to you, or already have. You might dance at their wedding. You may call them when you're at your lostness. If lostness is not a word, I just made it up. The copywriters can edit the shit out of that later. Find your people and build something that feels like home. Find your people and build something that feels like home. This industry has been a home for me, and it should be for you too. Eventually, I found my own way. I found my own lane. I became the head of media and marketing, as I said, for AOL, and then I invented this new title called The Digital Prophet. Why? Well, because, we're in creative. Why not? The world needed some joy. It needed more weird. It needed more humanity. Some people clapped, some people mocked. That's the internet, dude, and that's life. And if you haven't been bullied and you want to express yourself, welcome to the internet. It's a great place to feel that. People who are anonymous, whatever, dude. That's not your life. You with me? Yeah, amen. But when you ask your truth long enough, people stop asking why you like this, and they start asking, how can I work with you? That happens to me. I'm honest. I'm unapologetically curious. And so, intuition, my friends, if I could say this, is a superpower, but only if you listen. I talk a lot about intuition. It's not a hunch, it's not a whim, it's deeper, it's a kind of listening. It's when your body knows something before your brain does. You know that? 75% of purchase decisions today are made emotionally. We sell to the heart, we justify to the head. That's the only pitch I have for you. The rest is still about you. When you walk into a room, you just know something's off, don't you? When you walk down the lane, you just know that this is a bad space or a great space to be in. You just know within milliseconds whether you're going to trust or like that person that you speak to. It doesn't matter how you try and sell or oversell yourself to that, you just know. Intuition is incredible. It saved me many times when logic, way over anything logic ever has. When my startup was falling apart, I didn't spreadsheet my way out of life, man. I sensed it. And I needed to go. So what needed to stay and eventually what needed to begin again. You will be able to do your own audit of your life through instinct. You don't need to be logic because you're going to be living in a world when you start to join some of these companies that only want to talk about data. I graduated a wild creative to sit in front of Excel spreadsheets. No bueno. That is not how I thought it was. But creativity without intuition is what? Decoration. Creativity with intuition is direction. So design, communication, creativity don't follow, they lead. Let's not underestimate what we do. Design isn't decoration, communication isn't noise, creativity isn't fluff. It's power. You're in the communication game. It is incredibly powerful. We are the ones who give form to feeling. We shape the story before the world even knows about it. We give language to movements. We give identity to ideas. It's powerful. Design leads, creativity leads, culture follows. So don't think of this as just a job in advertising, design, or branding. Please, think of this as a privilege to wake up to shape what people feel, see, believe, and become. You are not the back room of this business. You are the front edge of change. This is sacred work. It's spiritual. It deserves your attention, your honesty, and your joy. Creativity is still the most powerful force we have. In a world of infinite scroll, as I am through my speech, and algorithms' sameness, you still get to make something that never existed before. That's powerful. You make someone cry in 30 seconds, laugh in 5 words, rethink their entire life through one image. That's not just art, that's power. Use it to provoke, to heal, to invite people into something better, to say the thing only you can say. This isn't decoration. This is how we move culture forward, sideways, or upside down sometimes. It's all momentum. Travel isn't a detour, it's the work. Parents, brace yourself. My parents had no clue what the hell I did. Bless them. There's something I believe in. And it's something as advice to you, is that you need to leave. You need to move 10,000 miles away from your parents. And they're probably going to love that or hate it. But here's what I want you to do, man. I'm serious about this. You need to get out of here. You need to get lost. You need to go explore the markets of Oaxaca. You need to go be awkward in Berlin. You need to go get rained on in Tokyo. You need to go surfing in Sydney. But ping me before you go surfing in Sydney, so I can tell you how dope that is, dude. But not because it'll look good on your resume, because it'll change you. It'll change your rhythm, your timing, your taste, your sense of humor, your empathy. And if you come back, you'll return stretched, strange, and exotic. And we need that. You'll come back with something no algorithm can replicate, a point of view. And that's important because you don't just travel to see the world, you travel to find out who the hell you are. Or heaven you are. Sorry, wrong room. So, dear future you, if you are going to talk to yourself, whether it's in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years from now, I hope this is what you'll say. I hope you've stayed weird. I hope you've failed with style. I hope you've fallen in love with a person, with a place, with your own wild path. I hope you've laughed so hard you've scared people. I hope deeply that you become someone your younger self would recognize. And if not, good news is, you're not done yet. And again, to the parents, thank you for raising artists. Thank you for letting them be strange. Thank you for believing in creativity in a world that keeps asking for certainty. Awesome. You didn't just raise a graduate, you raised someone who might just change the story. And please don't take life too seriously. Yeah, show up, work hard, you care, I get it. But celebrate. When it all goes sideways, laugh as if you snort. And some of you are snorters for sure, I can tell by the look in your eyes, for God's sake. Make things that don't make sense and make things that only make sense to you. Cry over a bad pitch, then go dancing. Or drinking, in my case. Awesome. Make a mess, clean it up, make another one. Because the world is serious enough. What we need now is your strange, your spark, your softness, your soul. Brandcenter class of 2025. You weren't built to fit in. You weren't born to reimagine. You were born to reimagine. So go make a beautiful mess of things. Go create the world you want to live in. And in the words of Katharine Hepburn, if you obey all the rules, you miss all the fun. Go break some rules and go where you're celebrated. God bless, take care.
Thank you, Shingy. I think we've all learned from that. We appreciate that very much. The Brandcenter Initiative Award. The Brandcenter Initiative Award is presented to a student who has made a significant contribution to the Brandcenter experience, inspiring both their faculty and peers with their work ethic, and their overall professionalism while maintaining an outstanding academic record. This individual will have demonstrated a commitment to individual leadership while displaying an overarching dedication to collaboration. Through innovation, motivation, initiative, and perseverance, this student will have gone above and beyond, demonstrating a commitment to creating positive change in our community. The recipient of the Student Initiative Award is selected by Brandcenter faculty and leadership. And now I will welcome Professor Tom Scharf to present this year's award.
I love that I know who gets this little yellow box before the rest of you. Pretty excited about that. All right, in a class of many incredible individuals, it is difficult to choose just one for the Brandcenter Initiative Award. There are many students who are leaders. There are many who are selfless. There are many who are innovators and motivated, and many who showed perseverance. But today we are tasked with choosing just one person who possesses all of these things. This person ingratiated themselves to the class early on with their energy, their positivity, and their creativity. This person is warm and endearing, quick to laugh, and even quicker to help. To know this person is to love this person. This person became enamored with the Brandcenter during a campus visit from some Brandcenter alumni. In his application, he said that seeing Brandcenter students give of their time and expertise meant so much because it showed that they believed in him. And if given the chance, he looks forward to doing the same, to believe in the potential of others. In this person's application to the Brandcenter, he said that when considering the idea of getting accepted, the part that most excited him was being part of the Brandcenter family. Not the portfolio, not the master's degree, not the chance to make amazing work out in the world, but to be a part of this family. This person is one of a kind, and this person is Elio Conroy.
Lots of cool things are happening here. This is kind of a little PSA in the middle of your graduation because I want to celebrate someone who is a special part of our faculty, our staff team. And this person has been a colleague and a supporter of mine through thick and thin since I've been at the Brandcenter. And I really want to celebrate her. And today is a special day for her, or it will be at least once she figures out what's up. this person actually made me eat those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And so I have a problem with that because you guys, they looked good, the presentations were great, the food was horrible. Horrible. So even though I told this person that this moment was for someone else, this moment is actually for Ashley Summerdahl. Ashley, could you please come up here, please? Unless she's mad at me now. Welcome to our relationship. She's mad at me most of the time anyway.
Oh my
Ashley? Ashley Summerdahl has been here for 20 years and has made sure that so many of us have been taken care of. Ashley and I have smiled, laughed, fought. She's been mad at me more than I ever will know. But we've gotten through the finish line and got things done. And many of us are here. She is a GOAT in this industry. She is a GOAT at the Brandcenter, and I just want to take a moment to celebrate her. So thank you, Ashley.
Okay, enough of that. It's diploma time. The class of 2025 is earning a master's degree in business and branding from the VCU School of Business. Come on up. Waleed Al-Tinawa. Mahek Asher. Ross Atkinson. Monica Baines. David Ballou. Camber Barnett. Graham Bartell. Claire Castellaspi. Nithya Charles. Bianca Cherry. Christine Choi. Henry Coffey. Elio Conroy. Logan Cooper. Julia Dom. Brianna Davis. Ashling Dean. Smara Dahl. Jewel Downing. Stephen Dvorak. Maddie Edwards. Brittany Evans. Lara Farina. Wanda Felsenhart. Brittany Forbes. Cameron Franks. Adam Fuller. Logan Fury. Vanessa Galdamez. Darian Gaines. Rynan Garner. Grace Garvey. Heminesh Goel. Ella Gorman-Love. Krista Gutzwiller. Kenneth Hargrove II. Charlie Henson. Ketty Hickman. Huang Ho. Elijah Houston. Alyssa Hui. Grace Hyde. Sarah Jones. Hannah Kakish. Aaron King. Mia Casper. Emma Karancheva. Max King. Tanay Kumar. Riley LaChance. Joshua LaJoy. Amanda Lappin. Callum Leitenberg. Harper Locke. Joy Luong. Kayla Mayer. Alex McKinley. Jared Montgomery. Nico Morris. Trent Moss. Anna Myers. Rhiannon Newman. Yana Nguyen. Vivechana Niraula. Nyani Patterson. Agram Prakash. Ansley Reeves. Christian Rivera. Alicia Rydell. Ryan Shork. Emmy Schumacher. Nate Cisak. Claire Snyder. Taryn Spencer. Ethan Stamper. Megan Strodel. Reagan Tate. Isabella Vergara. Jackson Wald. Alex Ward. Ellie Wilson. Joseph Wint. Bailey Wood. Alyssa Young. Joy Joe. Boyan Zlatarski.
Let's hear it for these guys. Come on. Class of 2025. Before we leave these doors, I want you to pause and cherish this moment. It's an important moment in your life, just like Shingy said. It's a launch pad. Okay? Think about this. You did this. You put in the work. You made it happen. I can't promise everything will be easy after this, after you leave this church. Our industry will challenge you. The market will test you. Your clients will drive you crazy. But what I can promise is, what I'm absolutely sure of, is that you can and will make an impact. Today marks the end of your time at the Brandcenter, but it's just the beginning of your time to create impact in this world. The campaigns you'll create, the brands you'll build, the problems you'll solve, it all starts right now. Class of 2025, please stand. As you move forward from this day, I leave you with 3 pieces of advice. First, push yourself, always. The comfort zone is where creativity goes to die. Second, enjoy this life. The wins, the losses, the late nights, the breakthrough moments. They're all a part of the extraordinary life and journey you're in. And finally, hug someone you love, like that little baby right there. Hug someone you love, because no award, no promotion, no campaign will ever be more important than the people who matter most in your life. Now, ladies and gentlemen, families, friends, faculty, staff, and honored guests, it is my profound privilege to present to you the Brandcenter Class of 2025. Congratulations to you all. guess it's time for me to say, y'all are done. Get out of here. Go have some fun, okay?